Hidden deep in New Zealand's Upper South Island lie two of the most iconic backcountry routes open to the public. Molesworth Station, New Zealand's largest farm stretching across more than 180,000 hectares of raw, rugged terrain. Dating back to the 1850s, it's now a modern-day adventure rider's paradise. A place defined not by technical riding, but by scale, isolation and scenery that feels almost untouched. And it's the perfect link across to the Rainbow Road, built in the 1950s to service a high-voltage transmission line supplying power to the Nelson and Buller regions. Climbing to Island Saddle, the highest point on the route at 1,347 metres and the highest public road in New Zealand, before following the Wairau River as it winds its way back towards Hanmer Springs. Combined, these roads form a 400-kilometre loop through some of the most remote high country in New Zealand. Open for only 6 months of the year, we're riding it at the very end of the season, attempting the entire loop in a single day before heading back to Christchurch, a further 150 kilometres away. A long day in a place where nothing is guaranteed. I dragged my friend Mike along on his Honda CRF300 Rally. Join us as we leave Hanmer Springs at 7 o'clock in the morning and head for Jolly's Pass in the dark. What a beautiful start to the day. It's going to be a big day today, but couldn't have got off to a better view this morning, could it? There's Mike way in the distance. I've just let him go ahead. So he's on the CRF300 Rally. So it's a good little day out on two small adventure bikes through probably one of New Zealand's most popular gravel roads, the Molesworth. Guess we've got a few gates to get through today, don't we? I guess at the end of the day it is a working station. Gate 1. Here we are at the start of the Molesworth. We're not even 20 minutes into it. I've already made Mike stop and grab this photo opportunity. Beautiful sunrise this morning. So we've got about a 390k loop we're going to try and do, and then another 130k's home I think, so 140k's home. Big day. Mike's up for the challenge. So yeah, CRF300 versus KTM 390. He reckons he's got me on fuel. Hasn't got me on the power though. About 25 kilometres out of Hanmer sits Acheron Accommodation House. Dating back to the 1860s, it was once a remote overnight stop for stockmen and travellers crossing the Molesworth. For us, it's a good chance to reset, check over the bikes and air down the tyres to get ready for what's ahead. So the reason why we're actually up here this weekend is that the Molesworth closes from about Easter Monday through to later in the year for the winter season. So this is really for us sort of the last weekend that we could get up here and do it, and we've chosen to try and do Molesworth and Rainbow in a day just as a bit of a challenge. I think it's going to be fine. We're probably running maybe half an hour, 45 minutes behind where we want to be, probably because I'm taking too many videos. Just arrived at this wee hut. Don't actually know what it's called. Good little view out over this river though. So we're just going to have a quick smoko break. Mike's going to just change his handlebars. He's going to roll them forward a little bit just to give himself a better position on the bike. Yeah, let's take a look at this. So yeah, we're way off into the distance over there. The road's really easy. As we know, the Molesworth isn't really anything technical. This river's looking a bit brown, so I would say there's been some rain up in the hills, which might be our undoing later on. We'll find out. Anyway, better get back at it. What do I say? If I stop all the time like this, it's going to be a long day. Jeez, little bloody rock climber. Alright, back on the road. It was a nice little stop. We're just trying to keep moving as much as we can today. Our thinking is, as long as we're back at Hanmer by sort of 7 o'clock, it's a 2-hour ride home. It'll be in the dark, but at least we're back on the tar seal at that point. I think we'll be alright. We've got a few more fuel stops to make along the way, just so that we can ensure that we're safe on fuel. Oh, big boy. Plenty of big stock up in here. Gee, these ones move a lot easier than they did at Lees Valley. I hadn't really paid much attention to the Honda CRF Rally until this ride with Mike. But before everyone jumped on the small adventure bike trend, maybe Honda was already there. The CRF300 Rally wasn't trying to be fast or flashy. It's just classic Honda. Take a proven, simple formula and refine it just enough to make it work. Now everyone's chasing the same idea. Lighter, simpler, more capable off-road. Maybe Honda paved the way for everybody else. We just passed a guy down the road who told us about this tree that's fallen down. I think we'll be able to get up around this side. Yep, I'm just going to go for it. You right, guys? You'll be right up there. So here we are coming through probably the end of the Molesworth, to be honest. 115 k's in, Mike, you reckon? 115 k in, and we reckon this loop is about 390 back to Hanmer. So we're not even a third of the way. I'm actually doing a ride on fuel today, to be honest. My fuel's actually pretty good, Mike. We might be able to get all the way to St Arnaud before we need fuel. But yeah, we've come across a fallen tree, a couple of cars, plenty of cattle. We're heading into the distance that way, up the valley, and then we're going to shoot over Taylor Pass into the back of Blenheim. But we better keep moving, eh, Mike, because I'm holding us up. So yeah, we're not even a third of the way through. But we've taken like 3 hours, I think. But we do have quite a big liaison, let's call it, of tar seal, so we'll gain back a bit of time there before we get to the Rainbow. It's all these little 2-minute stops here and there that just add up. Next thing, you've wasted half an hour. A lot of people do say that 2 days is good for this trip, and I can see why. Like, there's lots to see and lots to stop and look at, but sometimes when you're shorter on time and high on enthusiasm, just need to get it done. So that's what we're trying to do, get it done in a day. Wants to be ridden. So we've just shot through Taylor Pass Road, which is going to keep us off State Highway 1 and bring us out to the back of Blenheim. Then we're going to get some fuel in Renwick, and probably again at St Arnaud. I don't have enough to get all the way to St Arnaud. I don't probably have enough to get from Renwick to Hanmer, so it's a double fuel strategy today. So yeah, here we are, Rainbow Road.
So this road is about 105k, I think it is, for us to get back to Hanmer, and we're going to go past Lake Tennyson, which is about halfway back, I think. It's a nice little lake, but can get pretty windy through there. Jeez, came out of nowhere. So we've got a few of these little crossings to get through before we actually get to the main track. No worries. It's pretty wet in here. Okay, well the gate's open, so that's a good start. Please play a road toll here. Hello. Hi. How are you? Good, thank you. Thank you. Right, we've paid our toll, $30, and we're into Rainbow Road again, and it's 76k to Hanmer. Oh, how good's this? Wow, that's fantastic. We've just come around this corner to this gorge here. It's so cool. So I've just parked the bikes up. Here's the beasts, little 390 versus the CRF300. Look at it. Mike, how many litres of storage have you got? 90 litres.
100 if I squeeze it.
100 litres of storage. You're not even allowed to take that much on a plane, but like you've got it all packed here on your bike. It's going good though. CRF300's going good today. KTM 390 packed pretty light really compared to Mike, but look at that thing, pack horse. Nah, but we've got a bit of gear just in case we got stranded. Anyway, back at it. We've got to carry on to Lake Tennyson and might stop there for a bit of smoko. How many hours have we been on the road? What is it? 3 o'clock. We left at about 7-ish. 7 hours. Lots of bumblebees here. It's kind of getting hot. We both had our visors up, our clear visors, and I ended up with a bumblebee inside my helmet, sitting on the microphone for my camera, which is right by my chin, and I had a bit of a panic and had to get him out. I always end up with bugs in my helmet, bugs and bees. What am I doing wrong there? Coldwater Creek looks like a nice little camp. A few jokers there with their caravans. The thing that's good about the 390 being quite light, I mean it's a small bike so it's naturally fairly light, is that you can put some gear on it like I've got with the two 12 litre Krieger OS bags. You can put some gear on it and it's still really nimble. Like it's not like you load it up and go, oh now it's really heavy, it's horrible to ride. It's actually still really fun to ride even with a bit of weight on it. And in some weird way I almost think it's actually better. Island saddle. We're actually at 1,360 metres above sea level. And there's still mountains much bigger than that above us. I think we're actually making really good time for our trip. I sort of thought we really needed to be out of this gravel road by about 6 o'clock at the latest. And it's nearly 4 o'clock and I reckon we've probably only got an hour to go. And then we've still got a 2-hour trip home. But that's alright. 360k so far of our loop. And I estimated it was about 390, so 30 k's to go, I guess. I feel like it's more than that though. There she is. Oh, it looks good today too. I have been here before where it's been as rough as an ocean. You could have gone surfing out there, it was so rough.
Lake Tennyson is a glacial high country lake sitting quietly at 1100 metres above sea level. It's a perfect place to pause before the final leg back into Hanmer. Truth be told, it would have been an easy spot just to pitch the tents here for the night. But we stuck to the plan and carried on our way.
Well, that was Lake Tennyson. Really nice little stop there actually. Just sitting on the side of the lake, having a bit of a recharge before we head for home. So yeah, we're going to make a run for Hanmer to make sure that we get to the fuel station before it shuts. That's where we're heading, straight back out that way. Oh bro, what's he done there? Got a flatty.
Although Jack's Pass isn't anything treacherous, I'll admit that seeing the flat ground in the distance was a welcome sight. By that point of the day, the bigger challenge for me wasn't the road, it was figuring out how I was going to peel myself off the bike to refuel it before we pointed it back towards Christchurch.
Right.
What's it going to be? So the CRF's definitely been using less fuel. Mike's having great pleasure in telling me every time he fills up that it's less than me. What do you got? 8.47.
Oh, you're only half a litre different.
Yeah, that thing must be running a bit rich.
This ride turned into my biggest day trip so far, at 550 kilometres by the time I made it home. And on that ride back, my mind was already drifting on to the next one, thinking about how much further I could go, how this opens the door to bigger trips, longer distances, and maybe finally get that camping trip that I've been craving. One thing's for sure though, the KTM 390 Adventure R takes the guesswork out of it. I know what it's capable of now. I can carry the gear, handle the terrain, and it keeps me moving for 12 hours straight without missing a beat. And that changes things a bit, because now it's not a question of if I go further, it's just a matter of where next.